Hi, I'm MJ Jurgensen. I'm an actor instrumentalist in Bright Star.
My name is Brenna Wagner, and I'm playing Alice Murphy.
And you're watching Eclectic Arts.
All right, so we're here at the Taproot Theatre on Wednesday, which is about 2 weeks out from the first show of Bright Star, the new production at the Taproot Theatre here in Seattle, Washington. And I'm here with two of the cast members, so thank you very much for taking the time to do the interview today.
Thanks for having
Absolutely.
us.
All right, so let me start off by asking, did either of you know anything about the musical prior to being involved with this production?
Yes.
Hit it. Take it away.
I have been in love with the show since it was on Broadway. About 5 years ago. I was working with the two folks who choreographed it at the time that it was nominated for Tonys, like during that Tony season. So I've been kind of obsessed with this musical for years.
Awesome.
I
Okay.
didn't actually know anything about it, and I had several friends get the casting call who reached out to me and were like, oh my gosh, this is right up your alley, bluegrassy folk music. I play a bunch of instruments, and I'm a actress, comedian. So yeah, I was super thrilled to learn about the show because it's definitely a good show for me. It's something I'm happy to be in,
Yes,
be a
it
part
is.
of. Yeah.
Okay, and for those that aren't familiar with the musical, can you tell a little bit about the plot without giving too much away?
I'll try not to give any spoilers. It's set in two different time periods, so it's 1920s and 1940s South Carolina, and it bounces back and forth between both decades. So it follows the story of Alice Murphy. Hi. Follows the story of Alice Murphy as she falls in love with Jimmy Ray, the mayor's son, and kind of follows their journey as they get themselves into some hot water they're not quite ready to dive into at their respective ages, 20 and 16. And it bounces back and forth between Alice's teenage years and her late 30s.
Okay. All right. And
Those are really loose plot. Really, it's a lot of spoilers.
in terms of the characters that each of you played, did anything resonate with you personally about your character?
Well, I'm from the South. I grew up in Georgia, and I actually lived in Asheville for about a year for, interestingly enough, a children's theater called Bright Star.
No way.
Yeah, I know. It's very weird.
Wow.
No connection to the play. But, I definitely feel a deep-rooted connection to the Southern culture in the play. That really resonates with me, and I can see family members of mine in a lot of the characters.
Yeah, I'm from Montana, so a lot of that Southern sensibility kind of dovetails with the Western sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing with seeing a lot of that same kind of family dynamic. Like, I get this, I know this. And then I grew up with country and bluegrass music. So this is kind of like going home.
Okay, awesome. And kind of segueing with that, since this is a musical, what would you say is some of the main differences for the general audience that isn't aware between doing musical theater and doing straight theater?
So I think one of the most unique things about this piece is that it is, unlike a lot of other big musicals where you have a lot of big dancing, a lot of big flashy numbers, a lot of the music in this particular piece is to really drive the story forward. Mm-hmm. It's also a style. I mean, it's not Broadway music theater, big tap numbers. It's folk, it's bluegrass, it's really country influences.
It's true bluegrass, yeah.
And you also, something that's particular about the casting in this show is that we have actor instrumentalists. So you have people who are playing characters in the show who then go back and pick up a handful of instruments and join the band proper, which is fun for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and then MJ, you're one of those
I am, yeah.
who
Yeah.
has split duty?
I do, yeah.
Okay, how many instruments do you play in the musical?
I play mandolin, guitar, banjo, cajon, and a bunch of percussion.
Can you explain the cajon?
The cajon is, we call it the box. It's a wooden box that you sit on, and the front of it is a snare, and the side of it are tom drums. And so it's a great acoustic drum, which again, fits the style of the show.
It sounds so cool.
Okay, and then Brenna, obviously you're going to be singing some numbers.
A lot of numbers, yeah.
How many numbers are we talking?
Oh, 10? 11, somewhere in the 10 to 12 range, probably.
Yeah, but
Okay.
then singing in the group numbers as well. You sing a lot.
I sing a lot. I sing
Yeah.
the majority of the score. My favorite part is there's a song where I start singing as 38-year-old Alice, and then towards the end of the song transition into 16-year-old Alice, and I'm singing as her. So I get to kind of play with those differentiations
Oh,
of
wow.
like vocal styles.
Okay.
Big challenge.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit about each of your backgrounds in terms of what kind of brought you to this show? So I know all of you, or both of you, have done many different things to your credentials. So can you kind of speak to those?
Sure. I spent my 20s kind of as a nomadic theater artist, doing gigs all over the country. Brenna and I actually have a random theater in common in Montana. We weren't there at the same time.
Fort Peck Summer Theater.
Yeah, but we both worked there. And actually during that time, one of my sort of niches were actor instrumentalist shows. I did a lot of jukebox musicals, as well as a lot of folk musicals. Those are real popular with regional audiences. And eventually, as I was pushing 30, decided I wanted to kind of plant some roots somewhere, and Seattle felt like the right place. So I've been here for about 2.5 years now auditioning, and been really, really stoked to get in with Taproot and get on the Taproot stage. So this is my first show here.
Okay.
I've been in Seattle for about 6 years, but I've been doing musical theater since I was 5, 6 years old. I've been doing it forever. I went to school for University of Arizona, BFA Musical Theater. Minor in pre-law, just to really switch
Mix
things
it
up
up.
there, yeah. But I moved to Seattle right after college. Wanted to be in the Pacific Northwest, so I've been working out here professionally for the last 6 years. Spent 2017 on the national tour of The Little Mermaid. So I got to be a professional mermaid for a year of my life. I was my 5-year-old self's dreams. But I've been fortunate enough to work at Fifth Avenue, Village Theater, Arts West, and this is also my Taproot debut. So
Okay.
very, very grateful to be here.
Awesome. What would you say is like one of the toughest things in terms of preparing for the roles and preparing for this production that's going to open in 2 weeks?
For me, Alice has a lot of emotional extremes. There's some pretty traumatic experiences that happen throughout her life. So it's been finding ways to safely tap into those spaces, learning how to dive deep and then kind of surface quickly back into myself. So that's probably been the biggest challenge is playing with those emotional extremes.
Okay.
And I would say it's the putting on the different hats for me. We are deep in band rehearsals sometimes, and then I have some scene work where I'm just a character, and then there's some where I come on with the instrument and am a band member in the back, or influencing the story as I walk around with my guitar or whatever. So it's kind of changing between those different worlds, and what am I doing now, and thinking about that, as well as changing between instruments. Being like, wait, what is a G on this instrument, not on the other instrument?
Our actor instrumentalists are doing so much. You're going to be floored when you watch how much they're going back and
Aw.
forth. It's pretty incredible.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
2 weeks can't come soon enough. And what would be the last thing that you would say for someone that is kind of on the fence about seeing this show? What would you say to bring them to Taproot?
Number one, this music is amazing. You will be singing it when you go home. It stays with you.
For sure.
And then for me, it's the message of love and hope and redemption. It's a feel-good piece that's also layered and deep, and it's not fluffy, and it's something I think a lot of people can relate to on many different emotional and heart levels.
Yeah, I think if you're looking to see some theater that might challenge you a little bit, but you're going to leave with a big smile on your face, you're going to leave feeling hopeful,
Well said.
which is something we all need a lot these days. Then this is a great thing to do on your weekend or on a night in the middle of the week when you're not sure what you ought to do. You should come out to Taproot.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time. And again, the show opens July 10th, runs through August 17th. And come out here and support these ladies and the cast and everyone else and this theater, which is just an amazing theater here in Seattle,
We
Washington.
agree.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.